Hey everyone, it's Anitra again, and I am here today with BJohn of BJohn Beauty, and she is kind of like a Jane of all trades. She's a makeup artist, hairstylist, photographer. What am I forgetting?
I do waxing, I do nails, brows, all of the above, pretty much anything.
Yeah, she's just all things beauty, which is great. So I wanted to chat with her today about, and Ladybug has made her appearance again. I think you guys met her last time, but she just pops up, so we're going to include her in the segment. With BJohn, I wanted to talk to you about how you got into the beauty industry. What made you decide that you wanted to just do all things beauty?
That's a very good question. I think, honestly, beauty was something that I always used to do when I was little. Whether it was hair, makeup, nails, I joined my mom's and my sister's brows, stuff like that. I guess it was kind of a gift that I didn't really open until later in life. Again, it wasn't something that I thought I would pursue as a career until later in life. When I was working in the field that I was working in, I quickly recognized that it was something I could not retire from, or more likely, something I didn't want to retire from. So just having the gift and continuing to practice it, I feel like I was really pushed by friends and family to pursue my license in cosmetology. I was doing like little things for like family friends, weddings and stuff like that, no problem. But then they were like, you should just go ahead and get your license for it. You're doing it, why not make more money for it? So I kind of took their advice. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. It's a year program. I can do it, get it over with. And I did. And it really opened up lots and lots of doors, windows, houses, foundation, all of the above. Check, yes. I have been rocking and rolling ever since I got my license in cosmetology.
And when was that again?
Ooh, I went to school in 2000. I think I graduated 2015 from my cosmetology school. And so, yeah, I had many opportunities and blessings even in cosmetology school, which led me to kind of take off running after I finished school. So, yeah.
I know you mentioned your previous career. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Sure. I have my degree in social work, so I worked many years in the mental health behavioral field. I did pretty much everything, residential, community-based services, school-based services as well. So many years of working with adults and children in the mental health behavioral field. So.
And do you think that helped with being in the beauty industry? Some of those aspects, you know, with the psychology part of it, do you think that's helped you deal with different clients in different situations?
Most definitely, because I feel like, we're trained to deal with all kinds of people. And that could be people that are super anxious, people that have just ramped up personalities, people that are in panic, and you know the kind of clients that we deal with, especially in the bridal industry, you never know what you're gonna get. So it definitely has taught me how to be the calm person in the situation and think fast when it comes to crisis situations, whether it's a person comes in and they've chopped off too much hair, or you have a bride that nothing's going right that morning and they are just anxious, they're in a panic, they don't know what to do. And a lot of people recognize that. They're like, why are you so chill? Why are you so relaxed? And I'm like, kind of been trained to be that way, because I don't feel like you have to add fuel to the fire. There has to be some kind of peace, and I feel like if people catch on to your personal energy, then they will kind of flow into that same mode too. So
yeah, that's important. I said that too. I have a degree in psychology as well, and I think it helps it also helps because we have a calming temperament as well. So that comes into play, of course. But like you said, you have to be the calm one because it's just so many emotions, especially with those brides. I mean, it's their wedding day and they're like, oh, they're already amped up anyway. So, you know, if you can have that calm voice of reason to come in and just soothe the situation, that makes it better for everyone.
Yeah, and then you have those clients too that are just going through life transitions, and they want to have a conversation with someone. So unfortunately and fortunately, sometimes you do have those clients that kind of come and they unload on you. But I feel like with our temperament, we create that safe space for them. So not just unloading, we're able to give something back to them and guide them in conversation, or even connect them with resources if they need it outside of what we're actually doing at the moment, that will take them beyond our appointments.
Exactly. And that's part of our package too. Let's talk about your passion for hair.
Ooh, hair. I feel like hair for me is a hate-love situation. And I feel like I want to teach people, because for me, growing up, I had really long hair. And so my mom was our hairdresser, and she would do our hair like all the time. And then once I grew up, I kind of tested the waters, was like, okay, let me do my hair on my own. And my mom was like, please do that. So that kind of encouraged me to get to know my hair. I always say your hair has a personality. And when you know your hair personality, you're able to deal with it whenever it's being moody or happy or any of those characteristics.
Oh, yeah.
But I just had a passion for hair because I feel like it's something that molds your personality too. It molds your mood. I feel like if my hair is off, my mood is way off. Like if it's not together, I'm just like, yeah, just not my day today.
You know, and
So,
it tells a story.
It tells a story, right? And that's why I feel like for me, I know I switch up my hair a lot. But I love it because it fits my mood in that moment. But again, it also tells a story of what I'm presenting for the day. Because I feel like my grandma always taught us to like dress up and be well kept, and not just in this area. She was like, you better come correct from head to toe. So if you didn't have your hair together, nothing else was together either. And so that was, I feel like that was a family practice. Like you had to be together. So doing hair, I feel like I wanted to teach people how to have that confidence about themselves and really dive into how to take care of themselves externally and internally too. And I feel like my hair in general, it has some really wonky transitions and textures. So throughout the years, I feel like I've learned a lot, whether it's transition to like super curly, or it sometimes has been bone straight, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? So it helps me to understand how to help my clients too, and relate to them when they're like, okay, I have this hair crisis and it's like straight in the front and curly in the back, what do I do? So just helping them. And then I feel like it's a creative piece of me too. I know my mom, I really wore her out probably like my junior year with my hair, because I would literally, I hope I can find some of these things. I would draw out hairstyles and I would make her do them. Like, braids were in back then, and of course, like at the time I didn't wear like fake hair because my hair was long enough, and I was like, I want to keep up with everybody else, and the boys had all these crazy designs and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, I need to look like them. And I would literally go in and sketch out designs, and I would be like, Mom, and my dad would be like, oh Lord, here she comes with this book again. Either he would go outside because he knew we would be there for the rest of the night trying to create this design. But I mean, that's the fun part of it. You can do so much with hair, and it can be a fun thing versus something that you hate. You just have to dive into it and know your limitations, know what you can do with your hair. And I feel like with my hair, the reason why I do so much too, because I feel like my hair is very versatile. And it just fits my face shape, whether it's long, short, curly, whatever. I can do it, and I feel like if I can influence others and show them versatility with their hair through me, then that's something that I want to do.
Yeah, you're a creative, you're an artist. So you have to express yourself. If you didn't, you just feel stifled.
Yes.
You work with all hair types, all textures, all ethnicities. What are some tips that you could give to our audience about different hair textures and maybe products that they should use?
I think honestly, when doing hair, I personally think with anything, take it back to the basics. I think we get so overwhelmed with all these products that are coming out, all these tools that are coming out, different styles and things and techniques that are just overboard to me sometimes. Taking it back to the basics of just your easy steps of taking care of your hair. I feel like if you had a good shampoo, good cleansing shampoo, a good conditioner, and a good moisturizer or serum for your hair, that's the basics. And you will see the benefits of that when you actually have that basic routine of having just those 4 products. And then you can add different other things. Okay, if I want my hair to be curly, let me use a mousse or a foam. Personally, for my natural hair, I prefer a foam product over a mousse. So I feel like a mousse is a little bit more sticky and hardening, and it just makes my hair go haywire for some reason. I think it's just the texture of my hair.
Maybe.
But if I use the liquid foam that comes out, it's like, it's a miracle. It looks like this, and I'm like, yes, Afro.
Beyonce.
Beyonce hair. So finding your hair personality, again, finding what your hair works well with is always a good thing. And I would definitely recommend too, when you're buying products, I could sit here all day and probably talk about products, but I want to guide you in the right way of getting products. Make sure you read. Is there something specific that you want to accomplish with your hair? Say for instance, if you're struggling with breakage, don't go out and get all kinds of serums and masks and this and that when that's not what your hair actually need or what you want to accomplish. Go ahead and get something that will treat your breakage first, or get a trim. Or
That's important.
Yes, get a trim, or you have like heat damage or something like that, or you need to boost the protein in your hair. Go ahead and get a product that will help with that specific issue. Then that'll help you to transition with, okay, flowy, smooth hair. It looks better with your cut or your curly hair. So I definitely recommend reading, targeting specifically what you want to accomplish with your hair, and that could be dryness, moisture, again, damage from heat. Target that specifically and then move on to something else, because applying all kinds of products, sometimes that can do more damage than good.
Well, I know you mentioned a trim, and I've heard different recommendations for that. But how often should you get a trim?
Honestly, I would say probably since quarantine and your personal preference of probably having long hair and don't want to take away from your length. Probably sooner than later. I would say between maybe like 6 to 8 weeks. Again, it depends on your hair. And that's why you have to have a conversation with your stylist, and they should be communicating with you on those specific things of when your next trim is. If you have color in your hair, or you already have a lot of split ends, sometimes you may have to take a little bit more off to protect your hair in the long run. Because as much as we want to save the length of our hair and we haven't trimmed it, that hair strand is actually, the new hair strand is like, oh, I have new growth, that's good, and that's looking fresh, and your ends are looking dead. But the more you put pressure on it, that new hair is now going to split. And it's just going to continue to split up. So when you don't have your trims, and that new hair is there, you're just causing damage because you're continuously letting that split grow. So that's why I sometimes go ahead, take the inch or 2 or 5 off of your
like 5
of your
I
hair.
wanna keep my hair.
Oh no, you'll lose it in the end, and your hair will be more refreshed too, because then it looks good, it looks better. You're trying to seal it, flat ironing it, trying to smooth down those. You're just causing more damage, and they're flaking off, and it can be a mess. So get the trim and talk to your stylist about how often you should get your trim. Honestly, if you're continuously getting trims on a regular basis like you should be, then you probably won't have to do it as often. If you're maintaining your hair, again, using the right products on your hair and using the right tools on your hair too, that'll eliminate any risk of having to do excessive chops on your hair.
Don't want those, do we? So maintain your hair. Now we want to go on to the makeup. I know you love to have the beat. What are some of the techniques that you use? Well, we'll start with you first on your face, and then we'll move into your clients.
Ooh, for me, honestly, when it comes to makeup, I am probably most likely like your everyday woman. Even though I'm a makeup artist and I'm like, everyone's my canvas, when it comes to me, I like to do things quick and out the door. So I'm like with simplicity, and I think the thing that has helped me a lot personally is having a really good skincare regimen.
It starts with that, right?
It starts 100% with that, ladies. Having a good skincare regimen has definitely decreased the amount of product that I use, stuff that I have to use. It just cuts down on time. And I'm like, I can go in, do a face in 10 minutes and look like this, which actually I did before I got here. So something like that, usually I just go for very simple things. I like to address like things that stand out. So for you, it may be your lashes that are long and they look amazing. So you can take that, amp that up, put on your foundation or your CC cream, your BB cream, whatever. Put on a lip gloss, out the door. It may be your lips that really stand out and is your good feature. Add a pop of color. Red is always a go-to, or pinks are always a go-to. Put on a little blush, some mascara, out the door. Or you got brows that are good also. I mean, they're all features that you can easily accentuate and make look really, really good without overdoing it with the shadow. Like, I rarely wear eyeshadow unless I'm like going to an event or something. I'll put a little powder on them, a little concealer to wake them up. Other than that, I don't. I just keep it very simple. Just focus on my lashes or my lips, honestly, for the day, and that is that. And a good highlighter. I see it. I like to be gleaming. I like to be gleaming. That's it. I keep it very simple because, again, I'm like the everyday woman too. If I'm just going out to something simple, I need to be in and out.
Oh yeah, you're busy. We're busy women. We're like, oh, we don't have like half an hour or something. We just want to put on a little something to brighten us, and we're out the door. We have things to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't have time to think about makeup and,
Exactly.
I mean, if we're going to an event, like you said, it's something that's grand.
Yes.
You're going to take a little more time.
Yes.
But every day, I have to go.
Yes, quickly.
Good. What are some products for the everyday woman so that she can have like a quick 5-10 minute face?
I would say, honestly, having a good mascara is a good thing. Whether it's lengthening or volumizing, get a mascara that does a little something extra. Because I feel like the eyes are a good point to open and look a little bit more awake. So you can start there with a really good mascara. I'm like a mascara hoarder. Anytime I find good mascaras, I'm like, give me like 10 of those because I don't want to run out. You'd be surprised too, brows really shape your face. I think a lot of people walk around with unkept or unbrushed brows. Honestly, even if you haven't gotten your brows waxed or shaped or anything, just brush them up a little bit and shape them, and I promise you, your face will look a little bit different and you'll look a little bit more kept. I think I showed a friend that the other day. I was like, let me show you something. And I brushed my brows down and I was like, how do I look? And he was like, you look different. And I was like, let me brush these. And he was like, okay, I do see the difference. And that's for males and females. Males, brush your brows too, especially if you're out and amongst people. It's okay. Yeah. You don't have to do the whole makeup thing. At least brush your brows. I think also a good lip color. I think for women, if you don't have anything else, have some bomb gloss with some shimmer or something, or you have to have a red. I feel like that's just like a must go in the women's kit of beauty. A good red, or a good pink, or even like something like this. Is not too wild, but it still gives a statement. A pop. Keep it simple. Again, a good set of lip colors that you can use, and yeah. And don't forget lashes too. I feel like if you're a lash person, then have a little set of lashes. There are like so many options that you can use as far as lashes, and they're not as hard as people think they are to apply. So yeah, having at least some lashes or at least a good lengthening mascara, I think it would be good to go. And a concealer, I will say that a concealer can go a long way even if you don't wear like foundation. Sometimes you just want to wake the eye up. Just go in there and dab under your eye and you will see the difference of how you like, oh, I'm up. I've had coffee and the sun is shining. So a good concealer, and you can also, I do it on the eyelid too, just to wake that whole area up there. Again, the eyes, because people look in your eyes when you're talking. And
They're supposed to.
They're supposed to. But
windows to the soul.
That is so true. But yeah, a good concealer will help too when you're highlighting and correcting under the eye. It just makes you look a little bit more awake.
Oh yes, indeed. But getting back to the lashes, what is your recommendation? Should you do individuals or just one strip?
Ooh, the strip versus individual. Honestly, I think it's personal preference and your willingness to apply them. Strip lashes, I will say, you can find some that are lightweight. I think that's the thing that throws people off. They love like these big luxurious lashes, but the bands on them are kind of heavy. So that's where people get a little scared and they put them on their eyes and they're just like, I can't even open my eyes, and they're like
so heavy.
blinking like 100 times in like 10 seconds. And they're like, oh no, I can't do this. It's too much. It is something that you definitely have to get used to, so don't panic. It is normal because they do have a little bit of weight to them, but I think you can also find some that really have a really thin band on them, like the ones that I have on today. They really don't have a band on them. They're just on a little kind of string like, and they have like certain like little spots of lashes on them, and they're very lightweight. I cannot feel them at all. Now the ones I had on last night, I put them on, I hadn't worn them in a long time, and I was like, my eye is going to fall off, but I got used to it. But it was good. The individual lash, someone that's just not patient enough to put on strip lashes, because it does take a little work and technique with strip lashes, and it can get very frustrating. I think individual lashes are great, especially the little cluster ones. They're a little bit more efficient when it comes to application, and you still can get the look of the strip lash with the cluster as well. And so you can amp up your lashes, your natural lashes, as much as possible with your mascara. And then just take your sectional and place it where you need it. Sometimes I only do like the outer corner to give me a little wing, because my lashes are pretty much, they're long anyway, and I really load them down with mascara. So I'll do maybe 1 or 2 on the outer corner, and then add a little additional mascara to fill them in, and they look like lashes. And then people are like, oh, those are nice, and I'm like, only a few aren't mine. But they're very easy to apply, and you can just go in. Usually about 4 or 5 little clusters will fill your whole lash. And again, you can customize it to your comfort. And then you have the really individual fanned out ones. Those are good too if you just want to plug in certain areas. Say for instance you have really good lashes but it's kind of spotty and you're like, I'm missing 2 or 3 or 5 hairs in one section. Just go ahead and plug one of those in there and you'll see it looks very natural, and it gives you that more build in look. So I think as far as like application of lashes, I think it's all personal preference and patience level with it. But you can accomplish it. I promise you, you can.
They're like, yeah, sure.
But you can. You can.
Okay, well, all great tips, all great information, and because you're just great at a lot of things, let's move on to photography. Let's talk about that. Now, how did you get started in that? You know, what drew you to photography? I mean, of course, again, you're an artist, you're creative.
Photography, let's see. I love to take a good picture in general. I think that's just a girl thing, just like, oh, you know, back in the day we had the little digital cameras, whatnot. But what really got me into, I guess you can say, the profession of photography and actually doing it for professional people, I kind of fell into it. Honestly, I bought my camera to do videos, YouTube videos. And I was like, let me get a professional camera, let me do the whole thing. And so, yeah, I still haven't done that, but it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. I have lots of videos. I've just yet to post them. They're coming. But I think working with the photography team that I work with, I did hair and makeup for them. And so my photographer just asked me one day, he was like, kind of like, hey, we need a photographer, a female photographer, because, you know, they shoot fashion weeks all up and down the East Coast, West Coast, wherever. And so they're predominantly a male team. There are females on there as well, but those are like the big shooter people. Like they're like legit, not like me at the time. And so he was like, we just need someone to go backstage because that wasn't really their thing. They rather shoot still runway versus being backstage getting the details kind of thing. And I was like, why are you asking me to do this? And he was like, no. I feel like you would have a good eye at it. Just give it a try. And I was like, okay, it'll be cool, whatever. And so literally, I want to say, it wasn't even a month. And he was like, we're going to Miami, and we're going to Miami Fashion Week, and you're going to shoot. And I was like, wait, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. I don't even know all the functions of my camera. I can't even zoom in correctly. I don't know. He was like, don't worry about it. I'm going to come over and we're going to practice, and I'm going to show you how to work your camera and teach you different settings that you potentially may be in, whether it's like a darker room, a lighter room, a fast-paced environment. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just do it. So I did it. We get to Miami, and I swear the first day I am like sick to my stomach. I'm like, what do I wear? What do I do? I don't know. And he was like, just calm down. Like, put on something simple. Don't overdo it. Don't overthink it. Because I'm like, Fashion Week. I'm like, I have to look good. And he was like, you never know who's going to be out there. So I'm like sweating bullets. I'm like, I have to look good. I have to take good pictures. I have to go. It was just overwhelming. I was sweating bullets in Miami heat. It was crazy. And the first show we went to, he was like, yeah, you can go ahead and go backstage. I was like, we're going backstage? No, you can go back. Me! And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so stressful. So I'm like going to the back and security's like standing at the door and I'm like shaking my pass. Like, here's my press pass.
I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why are you shaking
The guy's
so
standing
much?
there like, go back. And I'm like, thank you. And I get back there and the models are like up to the ceiling. The hair and makeup artists and they're working their magic. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna put my earbuds in, get a little music going, and I'm just gonna do it. So I take pictures and I'm getting into the groove of it, and I was like, oh, it's cool back here. Like, it's chill, everybody's out the way, they're doing their thing, you have fun people like talking to you, the models, they're like into it, and they're just like, yes, take pictures of me, and they're like, and I'm like, okay girl, yes, working. And so I did the photos, and so the first night we got back, that's the night that you really unload all of your photos. So we're downloading stuff, and he's looking at my photos, and he was like, And I was like, oh God. He was like, I'm surprised. And I was like, surprised at what? And he was like, these are actually really good. And I was like, you're not looking at my photos. You're looking at someone else's photos that have downloaded it and has shared. I was like, you're not looking at my photos. And he was like, no, come here. And so I looked at them and I was like, okay, they're good. Are they good? And he was like, no, you have an eye for this. He was like, look at this shot and look how you captured this moment and that moment. And he showed me different ways to like improve, like, oh, get closer or use black and white or, you know, a different kind of filter to grab a different kind of moment. But, and he's a very like stickler kind of person, and he would tell me if it was super crap very quickly. But for him to actually say that,
To give you that compliment.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is maybe a thing. And so the rest of the week, I think we were probably there 4 or 5 days. It was so cool. And I honestly, and everyone knows I love hair and makeup to like 1,000. I think actually doing photography for fashion weeks put me at a 1,010 for photography. Just because it was so cool to be in my element, but in a different position. So I think it was easy for me to do the creative backstage photos and stuff like that because I was the artist. I would know what I want my photos to look like, how I want to be captured if I'm like doing a hair shot or my brush being held against my client's face. I would want to know how to capture those kind of photos. So I think with me having that mindset, I knew how to be creative to capture those moments. And
They're all intertwined.
Yeah, there are. And then just being in the hustle and bustle. Fashion Week is no joke. Like, it's like in and out. And I think that adrenaline of like, okay, show is over, pack it up, move out. We got to go to this location at this time. We got to get backstage. It was just like, it was very different, but I loved it. I really did love it. So
Very fast paced, but yeah, you do. You're in the moment. It's like go. You're doing what you need to do, and then later on, you just reflect. Did I do that? Did I do that? It's like, oh, it just went by so quickly.
And then just having the opportunity to be, I think even when going to New York, even having the opportunity to be at some of the more higher end fashion shows, your more invite only celebrity stylists, I was just like, I cannot believe this. Like, everybody's in the room is celebrity style. Like, it was just like overwhelming. And I was like, But I couldn't be too overwhelmed though, because I was like, I need to act cool. So I was just like,
You couldn't seem like a groupie.
oh no, no, not at all. Even though inside I'm like, my phone is like, snap, snap. But I was just like, oh yeah, I'm here. Like I'm supposed to be here. So it was a great experience, and I definitely missed that opportunity this year. But I'm definitely hoping.
Hopefully next year.
Next year, oh, it's on and pop, and I'm crossing my fingers that we'll be able to go back overseas next year, because that was the plan for this year for Fashion Week to Milan in Italy. So hopefully,
Speak it into existence. It's gonna happen.
it's gonna happen.
I mean, it's
I'll be
happening.
overseas next year shooting Fashion Week in London. I'll be on live.
With that, which do you enjoy more?
It's
Or
funny.
they're neck and neck?
I feel like they're neck and neck. A lot of people ask me like, which one do you prefer, hair or makeup? I feel like they're their own element, and I get excitement out of all of them equally. It's not like I'm in a position where I can do one less than the other than kind of photography. But I felt like the experiences that I've had starting off, not just like doing like basic photos of like portraits or something. I was literally pushed into the fire's den of going to fashion weeks and doing photography. So with me even starting there, I feel like they're all high up for me as far as my passion for them and doing them.
They're all on the same level, even though they're on different levels, but they're intertwined.
Yep.
And that's important, you know, especially say if you're doing a branding session or something. It's like, oh, here's BJohn. She can do it all, right?
That's true. I've been at the fashion weeks where they've requested, oh, we need a hair person on site at this location. If I'm in the area, that's easy for me to go and pick up that kind of work also.
And I'm sure at this point, you're known for that.
Yeah.
That's part of your brand.
Yeah, that definitely has come in handy when it comes to that, because a lot of times you do run into situations where they want both versus having to hire two separate people, especially when it comes to photo shoots. I can do hair and makeup, only have to hire one person. That makes it easy versus trying to track down one and the other. So that definitely has worked in my favor a lot of times when it comes to me knowing how to do multiple things.
Exactly. John, I just spoke about your brand. Tell me what your brand is.
Ooh. I feel like right now my brand is really evolving, and I feel like the seed is blooming. Because of my recent transitions, like I transitioned out of doing social work and taking on my business full time. I think even over the last 6 months, I feel like it's kind of turned a leaf in regards to, okay, what do I want my brand to be currently? Because I feel like, again, I do so much. And in the past, I felt like I was just the hair and makeup artist. But I feel like I've tapped into so much more, and getting feedback from clients, friends and families, followers that are just like, I just watch you because you just do amazing things. And I'm like, thanks. It's something that's growing, and I'm slowly sculpting it to where it is today. Again, I've reached people in different ways that I didn't expect to, and I want to continue to evolve that. Honestly, I want to be a true influencer, not like product influencer or stuff like that, but a gift influencer, to influence others to tap into their gifts. And you can tap into your gifts at any time in life, whether young or old, because I feel like I have influenced a lot of my friends to do other things, or coworkers, or just people just watching me to be like, I do this, why can't I tap into it and make it something for me? So I think I as much as I love doing hair and makeup photography, I think I'm in a transition of really reaching people to help them open their gifts in that manner. And I want to be that example for people. Yes, I do a lot, but if I can do it, they can do it too. So I think that's where my brand is headed, as far as like influencing others, giving them support, and showing them that they can do great things too. So.
Anything else that we need to discuss?
I think that's it.
You think that's it? Anything else? Well, I want to ask you for your information, how people can reach out to you, how they can follow you on Instagram, all the social media handles, anything that you're working on that they should be aware of to look out for. I know you mentioned YouTube, so that's documented. So.
Oh my gosh. Let's take that out. No, I'm just joking. Honestly, my YouTube, my assignment for this week is to put that out this week. So for all of you that have been sliding into my DMs, texting me, my friends, I hear you. It's on the way. So my YouTube will be launching this week with your videos that you've requested from me. My social media handles are always at BJohn Beauty. That's for Facebook, Instagram. My website is www.bjohnbeauty.com. Hashtag is BJohn Beauty. Another hashtag is BJohn Vibe as well. So
you heard it from BJohn, and keep her accountable. Hold her accountable to that. She says YouTube is coming. Is it this week or next week?
It's this week. I am. This week.
Okay.
That's my assignment. That's my deadline. My YouTube is coming. Videos. I've been doing really good with staying on top of my social media with all this great stuff that we're doing this week. So YouTube is coming this week.
She has her list, so that's one thing she's gonna check off. I'm gonna hold her accountable to that too. And I want to thank her for stopping by today and giving you guys all of this great information and tips and tricks and just information about her style, who she is. Again, thank her. Well, I thank her for stopping by, and we'll have to do it again soon. And remember to stop by my website, NeeChicStyle.com. Until next time.